Today I'm going to show you how to use my puppy love template. I designed this with a good friend of mine in mind. Her name is Olivia from Felix and Friends. Make sure you go follow her on social media. She has the biggest and kindest heart. She spends most of her time and money adopting elderly pets from shelters and giving them the best life they possibly could imagine. This cup has a special place in my heart and I'm excited to show you, so let's get started. Today we are working on a 24-ounce plump from the Tipsy Magnolia. We are going to be working with a vinyl wrap. So I am going to take my Cami Page Boutique Ultimate Tumbler tool and I'm going to place on the vertical line maker thing. I don't know the technical names for all these. And then we're just going to place our tumbler right on the base and make a line with some sort of marking tool. We are going to release about an inch of the backing on our tumbler template and then place and line up the tumbler template with the line we made with our tumbler tool on our cup. I usually just like to wrap it around at this point with the rest of the backing on, just to make sure it does line up perfectly. And then when it does, you're just going to release a little bit more of that backing. I just roll it up on the cup and then I take my hand and just firmly push right there in the crease and push the tumbler wrap on really smoothly. Once you have majority of your tumbler template applied right before you get to the beginning, you're going to release some of that transfer tape from the beginning of your template. This is just so you don't place your template down on top of the transfer tape. It just makes a mess. So you want to remember to do that first. And then you can continue to release the rest of the backing until you have the whole template applied. Now go ahead and remove the rest of that transfer tape, and we are going to be using some Mod Podge and chalk paint here. So what I like to do, instead of throwing that transfer tape away, I use that kind of as my palette for mixing. So I just folded up one part and then put it to the side. Now we are going to mix some chalk paint along with some sort of glitter glue or Mod Podge. You can also use acrylic paint if you would like. Just painting the base this about the same color as the glitter will save you by adding another coat, which actually will save you money, as well as we all know the glitter can be an expensive business cost. So mix up that glitter glue and paint and remove the two sections that you want to start with your black. And then we are just going to paint on that glitter glue and paint mixture in a few little sections at a time. You don't want this to dry on you. You want to apply your glitter while this is still wet. And sorry, I tend to work really close to my work for some reason, so you're always going to see my head pop in there or those little stray hairs, so I apologize for that. But then we are going to be working with one of my favorite blacks called Private Jet. It is like a really, really dark charcoal black, and it does stay sparkly under epoxy, so it's definitely one I reach for quite often. So apply that while your glitter glue and mixture is still wet, and then just continue painting those small sections down and applying your glitter until that whole section of that template is covered. Now you're going to remove the next part of your template that you want to glitter. I know I wanted the hearts pink, so I went with taking off the hearts, and then I mixed up a light pink and some glitter glue, and then I am going to be applying the really pretty glitter called Pucker Up on those hearts. Now on this template, there are lines in between the dog prints and kind of the chevron pattern, and then an additional one in between the chevron pattern. And I'm going to remove all of those. And I just once again mixed up some paint and glitter glue, and I am going to be applying the color Platinum Sand on those stripes. We are just going to continue going back and forth with those three colors, removing the sections, painting on the glitter glue and paint mixture, and then picking the glitter of your choice. But before you do that, you do want to take a soft, dry bristle brush and just brush off the excess glitter. This will just help with keeping those sections nice and clean and not contaminating with another color. Once you get to the part of the template that you are removing the smaller V sections in between the bigger V sections, it can get a little tricky to get that Mod Podge and paint in there without contaminating the other colors. But all you have to do is find a smaller, skinnier brush and just paint really carefully in between those two glitters. Now that you have every section of your template covered in glitter, you are going to spray seal this really well. I usually do at least 2 heavy coats of Krylon or Rust-Oleum triple thick, and then you are going to let that dry completely and epoxy your tumbler until smooth. That usually takes me about 2 coats. Then we are going to cut out the outlines of this template, the paw prints, the hearts, and then we also are going to make a bunch of really thin stripes. I just used a metallic black, and then we are going to place the outlines of all of the paws, all of the hearts, and then we also are going to place all of those thin stripes in between each section of glitter. This can be a little time consuming, but I promise the end result is so worth it, and I actually find striping out a detailed pattern fairly relaxing. Now that you have all of your thin stripes placed down, if you're worried about them coming up when you epoxy, which sometimes those thinner stripes do, you can take some quick coat really quickly and just apply that over those vinyl stripes and then let that dry fully before you add your final layers of epoxy. And here is our tumbler all finished. Such an adorable template. If you use my templates or my glitter, make sure you tag me so I can see your amazingly beautiful work as well. Look at the sparkle on those glitters. I just love these three colors together. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please remember to like and subscribe to my channel and look for me on all other social media platforms under Diamonds and Dust.